What's up, everybody? My name is Steven Dutzman. I am the founder of EngageFamilyGaming.com, and I am joined by Jeff Walker, our community manager, one of our community managers, as he likes to remind me. This is the EFG Show. It's a show that comes live to the EFG Facebook page every Thursday, except the next several, but whatever, it's the holidays. Give us a break. And we talk about all of the relevant family gaming news. So, Jeff, this week you came and you were like, there's nothing to talk about, Steve. I don't know.
Yep.
And then we just like tripped into a whole bunch of topics. But like the big one, after we get through some of our, some of the news, is we're going to talk about our games of the year because it's that time. Today, IGN announced all the nominees for their Game of the Year competitions, and I thought, why not you and me kind of go through ours, at least informally. Now, we'll officially announce the official EFG Game of the Year closer to the end of the year, if not probably the beginning of next year. But this is really just going to be kind of an informal thing where we're going to talk about some of the games we have played and some of the games that are kind of in contention for our Game of the Year. What do you think, Jeff?
Sounds good.
So, well, let's talk about news first. So, Black Friday happened. Thanksgiving was last week. So everybody in the United States, we hope that you had a good Thanksgiving. There was a little tweet from a guy named Stealth today, Stealth40K, who is a marketing guru, knows a lot about the Nintendo. This is what this tweet read. I'm going to read in Twitter here. It says, Nintendo Switch sold over 830,000 units over Thanksgiving weekend in the U.S. The best week of sales for Switch ever in the U.S. So let's just talk about that. The Switch sold almost 1 million units in a weekend.
That's crazy.
That is absolutely bonkers. Let's just go to the Wikipedia and find out like how many sales so far. Let's see here.
Stealth did have another tweet of that too. I'm trying to find it.
Oh, is it in the same thread?
Not the same thread. It was like beforehand.
So let's see what we got here. The Nintendo Switch.
It passed 17.5 million sold in the U.S.
Okay, so it passed 17.5. Let's round up generously to 18 million. All right. So it's sold 18 million total
in the U.S.
In the U.S.
It has sold. I know the last count I heard was 32 million worldwide.
Okay, so fine. So think about how insane that is. Like, if it sold over 30 million, it did almost a million in 3 days. Now, we have to assume some of that has to do with the Switch Lite. So we have to assume at least a little bit. I mean, it's a cheaper console. It pairs very nicely with Pokemon. I know Walmart had a really nice Switch Lite bundle. So we have to assume that some of that is Switch Lite sales. But still, almost 1 million Switches over Thanksgiving, that's Christmas present time, right? Like,
yep.
So, that's a lot.
Well, and what I think it makes it even more crazy, there weren't any really good deals for the Switch.
Exactly.
I mean, not that the Switch is a good deal in itself, but like it wasn't the only bundle I really saw was I think Walmart had it at regular price with Spyro the Dragon trilogy for free.
Yeah, I mean, there really weren't. Hey, Rebecca, welcome to the EFG Show. How are you? Rebecca is one of my former coworkers from back in the day. Yeah, Kate, the EFG super fan, or one of the EFG super fans. She says that's so many. You're darn right. That's a lot of freaking Switches. And so I'm gonna guess a healthy number. Can we say like half of those are probably at least are going to be Christmas gifts? Like, how cool is that for those 500,000 kids or whatever, are going to open this up. I am so stoked to hear about that, because for us, you and me, Jeff, I mean, one of the reasons we do what we do here is we just love the idea of kids and, even non-gamers being exposed to our hobby, which is something we've been doing forever. Kate's in the chat. She knows, like, this is so cool. And the fact that the Switch is able to do that, I'm sure the Switch Lite contributed.
Yeah, and you say we do this because it's our hobby and we love it, and it's making me think I want to go back, thinking all these kids that are going to get their Nintendo Switch, maybe their first game console, that I want to go back when I'm at my parents' house over Christmas and find the old picture of me when I opened up my Super Nintendo for Christmas.
You got to get that picture, and we got to post those pictures up on the EFG Facebook group. Kate,
I will see if my parents have it easily accessible.
Well, yeah, I mean, those old pictures can get buried. Kate saying that they were thinking about getting a Switch Lite as an extra. 100%. I realistically, one of our kids, Jake, his plan, he's been saving birthday money, chore money. He's going to save Christmas money. His plan is to get his own Switch Lite. He hasn't even started Pokemon for real yet, because he's waiting until he's going to play Pokemon Sword when he gets his own console. And
smart man, so he doesn't have to share.
Well, it's less about that and more about it's probably because he doesn't want to share, but it's also because he's so used to having like his own DS, right? Like he had his DS XL, and that's one of the things that really, like, when we were planning, because as parents you got to think about this stuff and you got to talk about like what. Originally, it's like, we can't get Switch Lites for everybody. Like, when they announced it, I was like, we can't get Switch Lites for everybody. That's crazy. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? If everyone in the family was like, I want a 3DS XL, those were $200. And we wouldn't have thought twice. It's like, oh yeah, everybody needs their own 3DS XL. Well, the Switch Lite is $200. It's the same price point. The games are a little bit more expensive, but like, what are you going to do? You can buy indie games. He also gave some Stealth. Also in this same tweet, gave some idea of lifetime sales for some Nintendo games. For example, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe passed 8.5 million. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate passed 8 million, which, by the way, still puts it as the best-selling fighting game of all time.
I think it deserves to be there.
Which it absolutely does. It surprises me. There's got to be some PR shenanigans. Like Street Fighter 2 feels like, I guess it didn't, but Super Mario Odyssey passed 6.5, and New Super Mario Bros. U passed 1.5 million. Now, when you think about that, that is a port of a Wii game, selling 1.5 million copies. Just, wow. So, congrats to the Nintendo Switch. If anybody watching is one of those folks that happened to buy one of those Nintendo Switches over Thanksgiving, congrats. You bought yourself a great console. It's the favorite console that I own right now. So, and we have two of them. So, bear with me. My son is kicking a table. Hey, Ev, do you mind? Okay, so, let's go to the next set of news, shall we?
Let's do it.
I'm checking things off the list. So, they tweeted about the Switches. So, speaking of the Twitter, Phil Spencer, the president and CEO of, is he he's the head of Xbox is his official title. He tweeted out the following, and it has started. This week I brought my Project Scarlett console home, and it's become my primary console, playing my games, connecting to the community, and yes, using my Elite Series 2 controller. Having a blast. Great work by the team. 2020 is going to be an incredible year. So, we already knew that Project Scarlett, the next Xbox, was going to be coming holiday of 2020. I have a theory on what the release date's going to be. And he, but the president of, or the head of Xbox has one in his house already. How crazy is that, Jeff? Does that make it any more real to you?
I mean, yeah, it's crazy to think that, especially since you know a lot of developers are saying they don't even have you know working consoles to help develop games for it yet, and here he has already has it. I'm interested. He says he's connecting with the community, and how can he connect with the community on something that's not out yet? But you know,
Well, number one, because he's the head of Xbox, and he
well,
can.
true.
What are they gonna do? Fire
Yeah,
him?
yeah.
So it probably just. I mean, we do know, and they've talked about this part that the next Xbox is going to have backwards. It's going to be fully backwards compatible. Xbox is, in fact, the Xbox One is going to be forwards compatible. All of their games now are Xbox games moving forward. So it would not surprise me that the Xbox Scarlett, even in its kind of early state, is going to be able to connect to the same, Xbox Live and same, all those same tools. It may have its own things, but I think the infrastructure is going to be the same. I mean, that's one of the strengths of the Xbox is its infrastructure. It's a service platform more than it is anything else. What do you think about that? Am I crazy?
No, and it makes me really excited too. Actually, I did not. I completely forgot they said Xbox One was going to be forward compatible, which is interesting. It's kind of like they're Microsoft. They've been in the PC game for a long time, and I think that it's always been their goal to put consoles, market them like they're PCs.
Yep.
New computers are coming out every year, but not everyone goes out and buys the new computer. And I think they understand that new consoles come out, not everyone is going to be a day one adopter. But there's, what is it, 40 some odd million Xbox Ones out there. And they can, so the new Forza comes out, and these guys they already have 40 million people who are going to play it.
Yeah. It incentivizes, you can go into the Xbox platform and you don't have to necessarily panic about only playing, and only making a game and only being able to sell it to the newest of the new, and the early adopters. So that is cool. I'm excited. Truthfully, I'm because of Engage Family Gaming and for work, I'm going to end up with all the consoles. I'm just hoping that the prices are at least reasonable. But
no $600 PS3s.
I'm hoping that we do not have to deal with $599 US. I can say that'll be a hard sell to the general. But so I am excited about the Xbox One. It definitely makes it more real to me. I would not be surprised if we get like a nice reveal event sometime in February or March and really just kind of set the tone. As far as a release date, fun fact, on November 22nd is the anniversary of both the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One. So I would be willing to bet real dollars that the Xbox Scarlett will release on November 22nd. Why wouldn't they do it if they could?
That makes perfect sense.
So, I mean, that is pretty late, but you know what? They'll do it. And Kate, who is watching and in the chat, she has a comment. She says, it's a really good strategy to make the game available to everyone, regardless of if they have the new console. Agreed, right? Like, there's so many people that have already bought into and support the Xbox. If it is possible, which it clearly is, because they're doing it, that just makes it all that much easier. And it means that you don't necessarily have to race out and upgrade. You can upgrade at your own pace. They make money on the games anyway, And then also, if you buy it, then you have it, and then you can play it again when you save up money and buy a Scarlett or whatever, or whatever it's going to be called.
I like your theory behind what day it's going to be released, but I don't know. I just looked up where November 22nd, 2020 is.
Yeah.
It's a Sunday.
They can do whatever they want.
Okay. I just was curious.
I mean, all right, so that would be rough, but they can do whatever they want. You're probably right, though. So maybe I won't bet real money. But they can still do whatever they want.
but it is the week right before Thanksgiving, so I feel like it should come out sometime there. I mean, even though there won't be sales, people will be buying it because it's one of the biggest shopping days of the year
Yeah,
coming up.
I think it'll still be a pretty big deal. Um, and maybe there will be some sales. Who knows? Okay, so we got some more. Let's see, we got some more news here. There was a surprise, like mini. I don't want to call it a direct, but we got like a nice little trailer. They finally gave us a substantial update to Super Mario Maker 2. So Super Mario Maker 2 came out in June, and it just got its first. It's getting its first real big update today. Are you downloading it now, Jeff?
Actually, I know I said I just did it like 2 minutes ago because I forgot. It literally took seconds, so it's not like it's a.
Yeah, it's not a huge update.
No, it literally took seconds. Like starting up right now.
um,
But
so the update for Super Mario Maker 2 adds Link from The Legend of Zelda, which is really freaking cool. You would think that they would be just cosmetics, because back on the Mario Maker on Wii, or on Wii U rather, you could put the amiibos on and you could just kind of put on cosmetic skins for the different characters. This one, you get his sword, you get his shield, you can throw bombs, you can shoot arrows in 3 different directions. He has a downward like thrusting slash thing. Basically meaning that you can make like side-scrolling Zelda levels. I cannot wait for somebody to create like these epic dungeon crawls where I can play through as Link.
yeah, and I'm super excited too. The only thing that's kind of a disappointment to me is they are. I wish they would just put in amiibo support because that was my favorite thing from the first one is all these different characters and getting the mushroom and like, oh, who am I going to change into?
Okay, I mean, I guess that's fair, and I'm down, but I don't know. I don't really have a but. You're right, though. It would be cool if they would just add the amiibo support. I mean, those of us who have the amiibos would certainly enjoy that. I just think, I mean, maybe they'll add it down the road.
And it also, with the original, it gave you a reason to play the. Besides, I know they added the new single player mode, but the one where you're trying to save Princess Peach. Every time you beat that, you unlocked a new amiibo skin, so you could even get them if you didn't have the amiibo.
True. Yeah, I mean, that was cool. I kind of just want them to add more games. Like, they're basically adding a new game into it. By being able to go into Master Sword mode and play as Link. Like, can we get a Samus one?
That was also my thought, too. What else are they going to add?
Can we get a Samus? Can we get a Splatoon one? Maybe a Kirby one? I mean, because at the end of the day, a Kirby one would actually be pretty awesome. At the end of the day, then they could just slowly turn it into just Nintendo Maker, which, why not? It's already a pretty cool platform. My only issue is that, man, does this feel like it should have come out sooner. Like this game was out in June. Here we are at 6 months later, and there haven't really been any this is the first real substantial update.
But the first one, it also took them a while to come out with their very first update, and it came out of nowhere.
True. Kate, who's still in the chat, said that they would love Samus or Kirby. There we go. That's a vote. I mean, they should just listen to us and just put in the effort. How hard could it possibly be? I don't know anything about game development. I'm sure it's actually quite difficult. So that's the update to Super Mario Maker 2. If you have Super Mario Maker 2, this is a free update. So just go turn it on right now and you'll grab it. And if you don't have it, Super Mario Maker 2 is a lot of game for the regular price of regular price of $60. But there's a lot of game in it. And I would be stunned if they did not add a handful more content drops like this one later, especially since this is getting a lot of positive buzz. We'll see how many Link levels get created. So, let's talk about the next thing. Speaking of a lot of game for not a lot of money, Nintendo. How's that for a segue? Nintendo announced yesterday via tweet that 6 new games are being added to the NES and SNES Nintendo Switch Online Collection next week on Thursday. So the games are, for Super NES, we got Star Fox 2, Super Punch-Out, Kirby Superstar, and Breath of Fire 2. And then for NES, we get Journey to Silius and Crystalis. Now, Journey to Silius, I don't know what that game is. Have you ever played it?
I do not, and I have an NES encyclopedia, but it is nowhere near me right now. I was about ready to grab it and look it up.
So I am on the YouTube right now looking at it. This is my terrible live reacts. It's from Sunsoft. And you're like a dude in a white spacesuit. You got a gun. You're like running through this like dystopian world and it's chased by robots and stuff. Whoa, there's a tank. It does not look great. Doesn't look great. Let's see here. But yeah, it looks kind of Metroid-y. And yeah, sure, why not? Add it to the system. Why not? I think the real. I mean, what are you excited about out of any of these? Did any of these do anything for you?
Out of all those, I would say I'm most excited for Kirby Superstar. I really like the Kirby games, but I'm really just want to play Breath of Fire 2 once I finally get around to playing the first one.
Yeah, I mean,
which is all.
I mean, these are legendary era 16-bit RPGs. Yeah. And I wonder if Breath of Fire, is it Breath of Fire 2 that really was, or was it Breath of Fire 3? Let me text, I will text my brother while we continue.
Yeah, that a lot of RPGs on the Super Nintendo are a blind spot to me because they're expensive to collect because RPGs were not as common, and also when the Super Nintendo was out, I wasn't really an RPG gamer. They were a little too. I wasn't old enough to really understand how to play an RPG. My first real RPG I played was Final Fantasy VIII.
God, you make me feel so old. I was in college when Final Fantasy VIII came out.
I was in middle school.
Yeah, we're getting a response from the Infinite co-host. I asked him, was it Breath of Fire 2 or 3 that was the good one? Because I know that there is an answer to that. I have the 3 ellipses dots, so he's answering. I think these are good. I mean, these are all great additions. The Star Fox 2 is particularly cool because it's the first time that it's released on a non-SNES classic.
You know how... Yeah, it makes my SNES Classic kind of null and void at this point. Why would I ever plug it in now?
Fair. Yeah, Kate and I are both very angry that you... Well, angry is not the right word. We are both upset because we were both much older than you when Final Fantasy VIII comes out. She said she was 20-ish. I was definitely older than you.
Well, it came out in 99?
Yeah. Why do we got to do the math? We don't got to worry about it. She was 20-ish.
I was
19-ish.
I was 11.
Yeah. You were a child. You're still a child. You're still a wee little baby. So apparently Breath of Fire 3 is the one that I remember playing, quote unquote.
Okay.
And 4 was was like super anime on late PS1, which I remember. So they're working on. I'm sure that they're gonna eventually put out Breath of Fire 3, which I'm hoping, because apparently that's the one that I remember. But who knows? I'll play them all. I've been working my way through Breath of Fire 1 on the SNES Classic slowly over time. I think this is cool. The thing with this is that, remember when they added those 20 games to the the SNES for the Nintendo Switch Online program? They added those 20 games, and then they said they were going to stop adding them, right?
Yeah. Well, they didn't say they were going to stop. They said they weren't going to be on a monthly schedule.
Correct. If this is what we get instead, I am so okay with it. Right?
Yeah, and I was really surprised they added more NES games. I was not expecting that. I thought they were just going to be like, okay, that
I don't think
system.
they have any left. This is up.
Yeah.
This makes it also 50 games on the NES out of the NES Classic or collection. Excuse me. That sounds pretty good to me. Wow, goodness gracious. I mean, 50 is probably the only good. Is every good. What is happening to me?
I mean, it's just missing Final Fantasy is all I can think. I don't think that's on the NES Classic yet. Or the NES, yeah, the NES.
It's not, and I'm sure that's on the list. I'm sure that they're going to add it eventually. Could you imagine how crazy it would be if... Imagine how much the world would be set on fire if E3 next year they come out and go, we're adding Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 4, and Final Fantasy 6, and Chrono Trigger. Just throw them out. Could you imagine the world? Oh, Kate makes a really good point. Really good point. She's looking for Spy Hunter on the NES. Yo.
Also, a game I would really like them to add is Snake Rattle and Roll, but Rare kind of owns that.
Yeah, I mean, that might not happen. I mean, maybe. Who knows? I mean, the reality is Banjo-Kazooie's in Smash, so, like, anything is game now.
Yeah.
So we live in a really crazy world. So I am actually cooler with this setup than I was with 2 games a month. Because now they can just kind of every hand, and realistically, this is 6 games. So that's 3 months worth of 2 games a month. I know a lot of folks were like, "Oh no, they're taking away the value." No, they're not. Clearly, they proved it. They're adding more. So, it'll be interesting to see what they add next. I will report back because I'm going to try and play some of these. They look cool. Chrysalis, I'm excited about. It's a game that I've always wanted to play, and now I get a chance to in handheld form on my Switch. So that is it for news. However, we did get announcements about the upcoming games for PlayStation Plus and Xbox Games with Gold. So,
Yep.
Jeff, why don't you take that away before we go into the release list for the week?
All right, so PlayStation Plus, and these are already released as of this Tuesday, I believe.
Okay.
Coming out is, lost my list, Monster Energy Supercross, the video game.
Okay.
Your typical, I believe they come out with those almost every year or something, or...
Sure. That sounds intense.
And Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2 is so good.
It is good.
Not for the kids.
Not for the kids, for sure, but I am not a first-person shooter player. I'm horrible at them, so I bought it for like $10 from Amazon.
Yep.
Played through the campaign and really enjoyed what I played of it.
Yeah. No, it was... Listen, I reviewed Titanfall 2 for Pixelkin back in the day. That's a throwback. So I reviewed Titanfall 2, and I actually played through the campaign in one sitting. That was really hard. But man, was it good. Like, I just didn't want to stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was it was so well paced, and it was so fun.
And I mean, the campaign's only like 8 to 12 hours. It's not going to take a lot out of your time. And if you like multiplayer too, I hear that. I never got around to playing it, but I hear the multiplayer is amazing as well.
Yeah. No, it was... I mean, I tried it a little bit. I'm not a multiplayer guy, but I appreciated it for what it was. But man, it was just so good. The ending was so satisfying. I mean, it was one of the... I mean, it wasn't a story to write home about, but it was pretty good. All right, and what were the Xbox Games with Gold?
All right, so Games with Gold, we have from December 1st to December 31st, you can get on Xbox One Insane Robots. I watched the trailer. It looks like some type of battle game. I added it, but probably won't play it.
We're going to take a look. Insane Robots. I am looking... I think I've seen this before. It's definitely like a multiplayer kind of party style.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a multiplayer. Yeah, it looks fine. And what else is there?
From December 16th to January 15th, you can download Jurassic World Evolution.
Which is basically Theme Park Simulator, but with dinosaurs. Just think about that. Theme Park Simulator with dinosaurs. Anyway, go on.
From December 1st to December 15th on Xbox One and Xbox 360, you can get Toy Story 3.
Okay.
I will be honest.
Deceptively a very good game.
It is. And I'll be honest, I played it for about a couple hours the other night, and I don't know if I'll go back to it, but I was surprised that I didn't shut it off sooner.
Well, I'm not, because you're you, and it's a Disney game. Little known fact. Toy Story 3 was the precursor to the Toy Box mode in Disney Infinity.
Okay. I can see that in the whole Woody's Roundup area, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
and then...
All right, so anything else?
Yep, one more. Right. From December 16th to the 31st on Xbox One and Xbox 360, you can get Castlevania Lord of the Shadows Mirror of Fate HD.
That is the HD remaster of the 3DS game, right?
I am not know much about Castlevania past Symphony of the Night, so I am not the person to ask, and I've never played a Castlevania game.
You never played any Castlevania games?
No, that's another blind spot that I need to fix.
You got homework, buddy. You gotta play Castlevania. You gotta have Castlevania Symphony of the Night like somewhere on your Xbox. Oh no, you don't, on your PS4 somewhere. You have to have it. You bought it at one point in your life, and
no, I've never bought it. I need to though.
Yeah, it's you know what? Believe it or not, I do not own it, and I have not finished it. I've played it, but I haven't finished it. But there's a lot of games I haven't finished.
They have the Symphony of the Night Rondo of Blood one, I believe, dual pack. I need to just buy.
Just knock it out, man. All right, so these are the free games, but there are some games that you can buy. Wait, Kate has never played Kate, you've never played a Castlevania? I mean, okay. I think you would like a Castlevania, Kate. I mean, they're like, it's like goth Mega Man, but you know, I mean, it's cool. It is cool. I think Kate would dig it, especially Symphony of the Night. Definitely think Kate would dig Symphony of the Night.
I need to just get the Castlevania collection on Switch.
It doesn't have Symphony of the Night, though.
It does not. It stops at Super Castlevania 4.
Yeah, Super Castlevania 4 is I mean, it's cool, but like, it's not. The real thing is if they did a Castlevania Collection 2 that included the various like the DS ones and like the ones that are Metroidvania as opposed to platformers.
Yeah, and I hear
that it's called Metroidvania.
Yeah, and I hear the Game Boy Advance ones are supposed to be really good too.
Yes, they are. So, so you make this list that comes out every Sunday morning, where you talk about all of the video games that are coming out over a given week. Why don't you share with us what's coming out this week?
All right, what is coming out this week? On Monday. So this Monday you could get for the Switch One Finger Death Punch 2.
Okay. Which is based on the webcomic, right? Is that the web? Isn't One Finger Death Punch a webcomic about a stick figure?
Maybe.
Or is it just GIFs? I don't know. Let's look it up. You carry on.
On Tuesday, you can get on PS4 and Xbox One Arise: A Simple Story. Earth Knight for the Switch. Game Beasts for PS4 and Xbox One.
Okay.
Hero Land for the Switch.
Okay.
Jigsaw Solace for the Switch. Nancy Drew Midnight to Salem for the PC.
Okay.
Saga Scarlet Grace Ambitions for PS4, PC, and Switch.
Okay.
Scaleboy for Switch, and Tools Up for Switch.
I am a little interested in the Saga Scarlet Grace Ambitions game because it is supposed to be somewhat interesting.
Okay.
But I'm. It also could just be a mobile game, so I just don't really know. I'm gonna have to look it up. You carry on. I'm gonna investigate as to whether or not it's a mobile game.
All right. On Thursday, so coming out today, we have Defenders of Ekron Definitive Edition on Switch.
Okay.
Neko Miko on Switch.
Okay.
Star Ocean First Departure R for PS4 and Switch.
So that's a remake
Of the SNES version that never came out.
Yeah. So, pretty stoked for that one. That's one of those that's definitely going on my list for when I finish the Pokemon.
That one is going on my list and then will probably never be bought because I just constantly, my list gets bigger and bigger.
Same, dude. Same.
And then last on Thursday, we have TikTok A Tale for Two for Switch. And then Friday, December 6th, we have Ancestors, The Humankind Odyssey for Xbox One.
Yep. Not a great game, from what I understand.
But it had a lot of hype behind it, though, didn't it?
Yeah. Just because it's being done by Yves Guillemot. Yeah, that just happened.
Breathing Fear for the Switch.
Okay.
Immortal Planet for the Switch. And Space Pioneer for the Switch.
Okay.
And then, last but not least, if there's ever any notable grown-up games coming out, as in that's what we call our games rated M, I'll put a For the Grown-Ups section.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was a big week for grown-up games.
Yeah, it was.
We have Life is Strange 2, Episode 5 for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. That came out on Tuesday.
Yep.
The Master Chief Collection, Halo Reach for Xbox One and PC on Tuesday.
Okay.
Alien Isolation for Switch came out today.
If you want to be terrified, completely and totally terrified.
Yeah,
which I do not.
With a handheld system that's 2 inches from your face.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Assassin's Creed The Rebel Collection for Switch. Okay, it comes out tomorrow.
And what's that? Is it just the side-scrolling games?
No, it's Assassin's Creed Liberation and Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Ooh, that's a pretty good selection.
So, unpopular opinion, I did not like Black Flag.
That is a very unpopular opinion.
It is.
Wow.
I did not like the ship combat. I thought it was cumbersome.
You got to be careful before you get us hacked or something.
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed fans are going to come get you.
I will say it took my least favorite part from Assassin's Creed 3 and just made a game out of it.
You're right. You're right. It definitely took that part out of Assassin's Creed 3 and made a game out of it.
I love Assassin's Creed 3. I know.
You got some weird takes today, man. Okay,
so I will say I love Assassin's Creed 3 because I am an American history nerd.
Okay, but still, yikes! That you are the first person I have ever met that disliked 4 and liked 3. So anyway, we'll have Assassin's Creed casts another time.
Yeah. And I believe Liberation was the one that came out with Assassin's Creed 4 on the
Vita
PSP, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was Vita. And it has a female protagonist from New Orleans.
Okay.
So, all right. So that's the games coming out this week. I would have to say, I mean, just looking at the list, I think my pick of the week is, it's going to be Star Ocean First Departure R. I'm really excited about that. However, Arise, A Simple Story, which came out on Tuesday for Xbox One and PS4, and I believe PC also, absolutely stunning game. I actually watched Jaxbox chick streaming it on D Live yesterday on her channel. It is absolutely astonishingly beautiful. Like every time she just stopped moving, it looked like wallpaper. Like it just looks so good, so pretty. It's got like this weird like time manipulation mechanic where you can like scrub time, like you're watching and editing a video. And you help that with 3D platforming. Very cool. Dude looks like Santa.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it is very, very cool. So if you
it's like a visual novel. It's one of those visual novel games, right?
No, it's a 3D platformer.
Oh, it's the 3. Oh, maybe I'm confusing it with something else.
You definitely are. So Arise: A Simple Story. Where are we at? It is $20. So if you have $20 just looking for a cool puzzle platformer, definitely worth a look. So let's get down to business, which is funny that I say that because they did show off the Mulan trailer today. So let's talk about games of the year.
All right.
It's time. We're just diving into topics. So you and I, trusty pieces of paper. We do this. I gave a little spoiler to the people who definitely can't. Maybe you can read that. I don't know. So let's just go through it. These are going to be in no particular order. We're not ranking them. What's going to happen is this is just kind of a casual discussion where we're going to go over our games of the year. It will be more. We'll have a more detailed, more official list when we publish our game of the year, and that will be something I am sure we will debate heavily, and ultimately I'll just make the decision because I'm a jerk like that. I'm a dictator, as it were.
In other words, he's saying that he's gonna fight heavily for Tetris 99, and the rest of us at EFG are gonna suggest other things.
And then I'll probably give it to Steam World Quest. So speaking of which, let's just go back and forth. So
okay.
Throw out a game. You go first.
All right. So one of the games I loved playing this year was Fire Emblem Three Houses. So my first Fire Emblem game was I played the GameCube one, and I remember I was in college, and my friend and I actually kind of played it together. He was my director of combat or whatever. We would kind of work through the mechanics together. And then I didn't play again until Awakening.
Okay. Which a lot of people did.
Yep. Then I did not like Fire Emblem Fates. So that kind of turned me off from the Fire Emblem series. And I almost did not buy Three Houses. It was like a last minute pre-order. I think I pre-ordered it the Monday of the week it came out.
Okay.
So it would be delivered to my house, and I will say I loved it, and I will definitely be buying the next Fire Emblem again.
Yeah.
I love the aspect that you can pick. It has 4 different stories. So
listen,
that's great.
I was sold on that game. I have not played it yet, and mostly it's just because I have not had time. But it is one of those games that I am absolutely going to be picking up. And I think that it's going to be like right in my wheelhouse. Oop, we got a comment from the chat. It's Kate. She says her first Fire Emblem game was Fire Emblem Warriors, but it got her interested in the characters. She's glad to hear Three Houses is good. Yeah, I mean, you know what's really cool about the Warriors games is they do a really good job of just kind of introducing people to kind of maybe not the lore is not the right word, but it gets people interested in like the themes, right?
Yeah.
And so, go ahead.
Oh, and I was going to say, going off those Warriors games, kind of going back to the news, they just announced that possibly, it said in the West, so we don't know if that means just Europe or here, they're coming out with Dragon Quest Warriors 1 and 2 for the Switch on one cartridge.
Oh. That's fancy. I'm pretty excited about that.
But we don't know if the physical version will be just a European release or not.
Well, we'll find out.
Yep.
We will find out. So that's Fire Emblem Three Houses. I'm excited to play it. I can't wait to, pick it up 3 years from now when I have a spare moment and play 10 hours of it and be very happy with it.
It was one of those games I'm like, oh, I'm going to play every story. I've played through one of the stories need to beat it 3 more times.
Yeah, good luck with that. So, all right. Let me. All right, I'm just gonna go with it. I want to talk about SteamWorld Quest because this
Okay.
time, SteamWorld Quest is part of the SteamWorld franchise. It is a turn-based role playing game where your mechanics are like cards. Like you build a deck and you draw through those cards and attack enemies. Your characters are all cool steam powered robots. It is so cool. I recommend it to just about anyone. SteamWorld Dig and SteamWorld Heist are two amazing games. The SteamWorld Quest, gosh, I can't wait for another entry in this series. It is set, whereas the other ones are like this weird like steampunk future. Now we are in the steampunk past, where you have steam-powered robots, and you have the hero that you are controlling who's trying to join the Heroes Guild, and it turns out the Heroes Guild is just a bunch of lazy jerks. But she still wants in. And so you go on this crazy adventure to save the world from this great evil, which, you know, blah 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 blah. But you go to cool environments that are really well drawn and very interesting because they kind of combine like robot steamy stuff with like plants in this case, which is something. It's beautifully drawn. The card combat is so addicting. I spent so much time tuning my deck. And what you essentially do is you build 3 8-card decks, one for each of your characters. And then you play them. And so they combine off of each other. And so the idea is you're slowly building steam and then spending it on attacks. And so you might have like I had one character that their entire job was just to build up steam so that other characters could use it on their super moves. There are a bunch of different characters, you know, and adding a different character in that changes 8 cards and can make a completely different combat style. It is so cool, so fun. I just chewed through that game. It's available on Switch. I think it's also on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. I would recommend this to anybody who loves role-playing games. And also, like, if you're one of those folks that like quietly like plays Hearthstone in the background, like, yeah, like that, this is for you. Because a lot of the cards kind of function in a very similar way. Yeah, so that's SteamWorld Quest. Loved that game.
Okay. I have not played it yet. I actually haven't played any of the SteamWorld games. I know I have so many blind spots, but the games I do play, I know a lot about. There's too many games.
There are too many games. But you bought WWE 2K20.
I did, and that was a bad mistake, and I did not plan on making that mistake ever again.
I mean, I'm just saying, you definitely could have played SteamWorld Quest for way less money than you spent on WWE 2K20.
Yes, I could have.
Kate, you guys would love SteamWorld Quest. You definitely would love SteamWorld Quest.
And I mean,
it's also bite-sized. The hidden advantage is we're talking about a cool role-playing game that's like less than 25 hours.
So
with replayability.
With the card battling mechanics, is it more like, do you just add cards? Is it a deck builder type game?
Basically, what you do is throughout the game, you purchase or find new cards.
Okay.
And you build an 8-card deck for every character in your party. And then when you play, it shuffles up the 24-card deck. And then you draw a certain number of cards, and then you can play with them. You basically can play 3 cards per turn. And so you have like 3 points or whatever that you can spend per turn, and so you can do like 1-1-1 or 1-2 or 0-0, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And the idea is you're building up steam, and then you are spending it on abilities. So there are some abilities that cost 0. Everybody has like 0 cost cards that do a little bit of damage or do something minor but build up steam. And then there are some cards that just eat steam. And so there's a whole bunch of different strategies. You could be all about building steam and then spending all of it on a single attack. You could be very conservative. There's a character that does all debuffs and buffs. There's another character that's a healer, but who also, one of their moves is just this crazy punch attack. So you're like heal, 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 mega punch.
Okay.
Lots of neat, cool stuff. And I really enjoyed it. I actually played with the first 2 characters, who are the main character, who's like a knight, like fighter type, and this wizard for the entire game, just rotating different characters out through the 3rd spot. And I loved every minute of it. So
okay.
This is definitely something I recommend. If you were somebody that loved Magic the Gathering back in the day, and you like that kind of figuring out card combos, this is definitely a game for you.
Okay, and I will say I definitely really like card deck builders. One of my favorite board games is, or I guess it's not really a board game, card games is Dominion.
Yeah, it's not... Yeah, you would probably like it. It's not exactly the same, but if you like that kind of concept, which is like over time building up a collection, then yes, you would probably like it.
And that brings me to our next game, which I hate to say, I'm not sure if it makes my game of the year list, but I wanted to talk about it because I just played it recently.
Yep.
I've been playing Slay the Spire.
Slay the Spire also very good. Now that is a traditional deck building game.
Yes.
You're building up cards slowly over time. Slay the Spire is so good. I had to stop because it's addicting.
Well, here's the thing. I've been playing it on Xbox Game Pass.
Because of course you are.
Because yes,
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jesse. That's my wife. Thank you, Jesse, for talking to Steven to figure out what she should get me.
Yep.
So I'm playing it, and I really, really want to like this game. I love the deck building aspect of it. I do not like the roguelike aspect of it.
You just kind of got to get used to it. It's just an excuse to play different things. That's all.
Yeah. I think what I need to do is quit playing it on Xbox, and I need to put it on my Switch.
I mean, sure.
I think because if I look at it that way, I have an extra hour or so at work where I'm not doing anything. I can pull out my Switch and play through a round, and not a game where it's going to...
I mean, all right, folks listening, I am not encouraging the playing of video games while working.
Well,
so,
no.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Let me rephrase that. I work in a job where I sometimes have down moments where I have nothing to do, and I'm waiting for the next thing to happen, and so I have free time to play a Switch, read a book.
All right. I wish I had that job. I'm a little jealous. All right. So I love that game. I am so upset that you don't like it. Not like in a mad at you kind of way, but like in a sad for you kind of way. Because it is so good.
It's the roguelike aspects. I don't like roguelites. That's why I played Moonlighter this year for the first time. I beat the first dungeon and then I quit because I did not like having to reset every time. I've never been that into that type of game. I want progression. And I understand you get progression. I unlocked a card with one of my characters. I just
you definitely get progression.
Yeah, it's just not as much progression as other.
Okay.
I guess I heard there's two different. A podcast I listened to says there's roguelikes and then there's roguelites where you kind of gain more progression. And what I'm looking for is more of a roguelite.
That's fair. I mean, you're wrong. Objectively, but that's fair. I'll allow it.
I mean, if I have an hour to play a game, I might throw it on. It's just, it won't always be my first choice, and I might just wait. I think it would work better portable for me, and maybe I just need to wait for a good sale and just buy it on the Switch.
Fair enough. Speaking of games that we should just buy on the Switch, how about a game you don't have to buy because everybody's got Nintendo Switch Online who has a Switch? I'm going to talk about Tetris 99, which... I can tell you this much. we give a Game of the Year award to a game. However, there's always like 5 or 6 on the list. I guarantee that Tetris 99 will be on the list. I don't care what any of you say. I have executive privilege, largely because I write the list. So I can kind of do whatever I want. So Tetris 99 is so freaking good. It is Tetris Battle Royale, okay? Tetris Battle Royale. It's you versus 99 other people playing Tetris. I never thought that was how Battle Royale would get applied. Battle Royale is like a whole thing, and it's incredibly popular, and a lot of people like the dynamic, crazy competition, the fact that it's so different all the time, and that sense of competing against that many people. That sense of scale is really cool. Tetris 99 is my favorite Battle Royale game, period. Kate's on my side. She says Tetris 99, so much fun. She is right. Tetris 99 is so good. And you don't even have to spend it. I mean, you have to buy your Nintendo Switch Online, which you're probably going to buy anyway. And it gives you access to this game. So good. Now, there are some folks, including one of our community managers, Mike, not my brother Mike, different guy Mike, who actually didn't really like it. Kind of bounced out. I encourage everybody, if you play it and you struggle with it, watch a YouTube video where they explain the mechanics of the game. Because once you understand the basic mechanics of the game, I think it actually makes it a lot easier to understand and enjoy. How much Tetris 99 have you played, Jeff?
I played for the first week.
Well, then you moved on, because you have other games.
And then I moved on because I have other games. I kept saying, I'm going to get back to that. I kept seeing their special weekends they had. I'm like, that's a cool skin. I need to play. And then I didn't play.
Yeah, I need to get back to playing for the skins. I think my excuse is I think we're just going to make it a video, my chase for the skin, and just put it up on the YouTube. My
problem is my first ever game of Tetris 99, I got 3rd place.
Ooh, and then you haven't been able to live up to it.
So then I thought I was the big man on campus. I'm like, I'm going to play this game forever. I'm really good at it. And then everyone else realized how to play, and then I didn't know how to play.
Watch a YouTube video, man. Because I swear, there are YouTube videos out there. There are lots of YouTube videos where they're kind of explaining the mechanics, and I definitely think that it's worth looking at. So that's Tetris 99. What else you got? Let's just do a couple more.
Okay, and then I would like to, at the end, both of us to say a game we played in 2019 that did not come out in 2019. Because I have...
We can do that.
So my next one I want to talk about is Dragon Quest XI-S.
Okay.
So this is my first Dragon Quest game since Dragon Quest VIII on the PS2. Yep. I mean, I think it's the only one that's come out since then, really. I don't think 9 or 10 didn't.
I think... I don't
9,
know.
I don't know.
I think 8 came out on 3DS.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Dragon Quest this is the first one to come out in a long time.
But the game is amazing, and I'm not even... Honestly, I couldn't tell you how far I am through it because the game just keeps surprising me with what's next and what's next. If you like an RPG... If you like RPGs, I mean, it's your typical JRPG, but one thing I really like about it is I don't think there's too much grinding involved,
okay.
which can be kind of a downer to some people when it comes to RPGs.
Not for me.
But also, it's on the Switch, so grinding can be a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. Yep. This game... Oh, it's so good. I have not bought it yet. I'm just waiting for a sale. It is... I played... The cool part is there's a demo right now, and the progress carries over, and the demo's like 10 hours.
Yep.
So, even if you just want to play 10 hours of a cool role-playing game, do it.
Pick it up.
It's free. A free 10-hour role-playing game, admittedly, you don't get an end, but, who cares? How many... Especially if you're one of those people that never finishes role-playing games... This is perfect. You get 10 hours. You were never going to finish it anyway.
Also, if you're trying to 100% Super Smash Brothers, you play the demo, you get a spirit.
Ooh, if you're gonna be one of those people.
If you're going to be one of the, I have, as of yesterday, 985 spirits. I only have like 400 more to go.
Only 400 more. Kate says grinding is her favorite part of RPGs. She likes to grind forever and then roll into fights like a god. Same, Kate. Same. I do enjoy grinding up higher levels in RPGs. Speaking about grinding up the higher levels in RPGs, I'll just talk about Pokemon Sword and Shield. Right?
All right.
Um, that game is so freaking good.
Have
I
you
know.
have you beat it?
No, I'm on Gym 7, the Iced Lady.
Oh,
Remember, did you buy Sword or Shield?
I bought Sword.
Okay, so yours was Rock type.
Okay, so you have Shield.
So I have Shield, and so I'm playing the Ice Lady, who is this wonderful, nice, um, uh, silver-haired, very angry Ice Lady. I mean, I don't know. I
Okay.
actually haven't met her yet, so I'm still on that gym. So I'm moving along.
Well,
Six gyms in.
that just means when you get the legendary, we're gonna have to trade and trade back.
Sure, we can do that. I'll. Can you breed legendaries? No,
No,
they're one of a kind.
I just want it for my Pokédex. I don't need the actual guy. I
All right,
just
I'll trade you and trade back. We're cool. We're cool. Or so. I am very excited, and Kate, you'll dig this. So, I found last night a Pokemon called Phalanx, which
Yep.
is 5 bugs that that look like a caterpillar wearing like Centurion helmets. It has an extra connection that Kate, who is a longtime LARPer with me, will totally understand because of course I was going to put a Pokemon named Phalanx in my party. He is fighting type, but he has an insect type move. And it is so cool. I'm like, yeah, he's not a great. I mean, he's not great statistically, but I can't not have him in my party. And it's just like 5 little dudes, just marching. Um,
I would.
Unfortunately, he's the wrong color. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I mean, there's so many. I will say, out of any of the most recent new Pokemon generations that come out, this one has some of my favorite new Pokemon.
Yeah.
I love. I don't know if you've met Toxtricity yet.
I have a Toxel.
Okay, Toxel evolves into Toxtricity, and Toxtricity is electric poison type, and when he does an attack, he looks like he's playing air guitar.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. All right, I am actually saving the image, and I am going to put it in the video because I have to show everybody. Because this is it's too good to not just have him show up. I should probably make him I should probably just do it and make him just a part of the whole presentation. So here we go. Hold on.
But yeah, while you're doing that, I can just talk.
Yeah.
I have beaten Pokemon Sword. I've done the end game stuff. These people who said they took them 11 hours to beat the game, I don't understand. I think.
Do you think maybe they were embellishing in an effort to
yes,
make something up?
because I definitely didn't take my time. I rushed through. I spent very little time in the wildlands. I just wanted to, get to the next story, the
Yeah.
story point. I did a few of the raids, and I think I beat it in 27, 28 hours.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And that's counting the end game stuff. So, but I mean the end. I will say that compared to Sun and Moon, X and Y, the end game's kind of weak, but the rest of the game is amazing.
It is, man, it is so fun. I mean, the It is everything. I can't get an image, so I'm gonna abandon ship. Just look up Phalanx, Falinks. It is. It's going to be the first Pokemon game I roll credits on, easily. I don't know how much I'll play after that. Just because I don't foresee myself like trying to get into the competitive meta. Evan, our oldest, is very convinced that he's going to be a competitive, like, I might try and finish the Pokédex. I think that sounds fun. Hunting down dudes and figuring out weather and stuff like that. But he wants to play competitive, so he's been, going places looking to get like all the competitive Pokemon. He's been learning about team composition and like really getting into the nitty gritty, which I think is going to be interesting to hear about and learn about. And kind of watch from him. Oh, we got a comment from Kate in the chat. Let's see. Here we go. She says she spent 2 hours in the wildlands so far. Haven't even gone to the next town, just collecting and grinding. Listen, that's one of the things that I really like about the wildlands is that it really has, or like the wild area, it kind of like opened up and made it so that the game wasn't quite as linear, because you do have that option to just kind of explore and see different Pokemon and do different stuff. Eventually, Kate, you're going to have to go, because as you beat the gym leaders, it lets you capture higher level Pokemon in the wild area. So eventually you're going to have to go.
And that was an interesting thing. This is the first Pokemon game, I think, that limited what Pokemon you could throw a Pokeball at.
Yeah. Well, I think they want to do something to make some of those dynamic encounters in the wildlands, in the wild areas, a little bit more interesting. But that definitely made it scary for me.
Oh yeah,
because I'm just like, oh, look at that Steelix. I'm gonna go. Oh no, I'm not gonna get that Steelix because that Steelix is level 50.
Yeah, and then you can't escape.
Yeah, and then you can't escape, and then it whoops like your entire team. I'm loving this. I love that they added stuff. And this is just, imagine the next game, there's some valid criticisms regarding like some of the animations. I'm actually less concerned with the animations. For me, I think it's time for voice acting, personally.
Yeah, that first cutscene, that was weird because you couldn't click through or hit your button to go through the words. You had to wait. So I'm like, well, why am I having to wait if there's no voice acting?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's time for voice acting, at least for the Pokemon.
Besides Pikachu, and I think Eevee now has voice acting because of Let's Go Eevee.
Kate says she fought in her first Dynamax fight with her Magikarp. Well, that was a mistake. That happened. I bet you, Kate, you will never do that again. You learned your lesson. Although apparently Magikarp isn't Magikarp like kind of reasonable once you get like Water Spout or whatever?
No. It only knows Tackle and Splash, but I guess in this new generation you can learn Hydro Pump at some time.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like if you give it Hydro Pump, then like whatever. But really they're just meant to go on. All right, well, then she still won. So that means you didn't learn your lesson, Kate. You're gonna bring that Magikarp in there, because now I have a feeling that you're gonna want to like go back in and just dominate more with a weaker Pokemon. Although eventually, or it'll just turn into Gyarados, and then you'll have a just crazy dragon hose.
Hey. I have a Gyarados on my team, so...
Listen, I have Magikarps. I was actually very lucky with a bunch of Wonder Trades, and like basically got my entire team through Wonder Trade. So I've been very excited about that. They call them surprise trades in this game, but I was Grookey Gang, as we talked about last week, not last week, the last show. But I ended up getting a Scorbunny and a Galarian Ponyta. And all this other stuff. Like my entire team is pretty much Wonder Traded, and I am okay with that.
Same here. I got a few lucky Wonder Trades too that I raised from like level 1 because though lately in the game my surprise trades have been like 90% Dreepies, and I don't know why.
Because people are breeding Dragon Pulse. Because Dragonpult, which is the final form for Dreepy, is one of the most competitive. Is like you need him for competitive. I'm also surprised that you haven't seen a lot of Mimikyus, because Mimikyu is apparently like 99% of all online battles. This is stuff that I found out because of Evan. Like 99% of all online battles have a Dragapult, a Mimikyu, and a Gyarados. That's it. Okay. And then there's variety after that, but it's Mimikyu, Gyarados. You have to be able to deal with a Mimikyu, a Gyarados, and a Dragonpult. And Dreepy is level 1, so and I think Dreepy's a little easier to get than some of the other ones because Dreepy's just on a route.
Yeah,
So that's probably that. I could be super wrong, but I would presume that it's because it's just the hotness. Also, the final form for that is kind of cool because it looks like a stealth bomber on a dragon's head. Because reasons. I'm really excited about the apple Pokemon that I have that is a dragon that looks like an apple pie.
Okay, yes, I've seen that. I haven't found that one yet. I've been looking for it.
I'll trade it to you, and we can trade back. So you can get it into your Pokédex, because it is Shield exclusive.
That's why.
Yeah. So, why don't you share one more? You got one more game?
All right. I'm going back. We kind of already talked about Super Mario Maker 2. I won't mention that one. Let's go with Astral Chain.
Sure.
So
let's get weird, everybody.
So I haven't really ever played a Platinum game till the beginning of this year when I finally played Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2.
Okay.
So both, I will say, well, Bayonetta is an okay game. Bayonetta 2 was amazing.
Okay.
Really enjoy them. Not for your kids. Don't let your kids play those games.
Yeah, no, not for kids.
So it kind of made me think, well, what else can Platinum games bring out? I wasn't going to get Astral Chain because I knew that end of my year was kind of packed with Dragon Quest, Luigi's Mansion, and Pokemon Sword all coming out within a month and a half of each other. All within that month and a half.
I know. This is crazy.
Yeah. So I picked it up. And if you like giant fighting robots and you like to control those giant fighting robots and you're interested in being on a police force with those giant fighting robots, I would say go for this game.
So I get to be on a police force with a giant robot?
5 of them.
What?
You get to control 5 of them, and you get to adopt cats.
This sounds... I mean... Kate is watching. She knows. I absolutely... Can you tell my other monitor's turned off? She knows. I do enjoy me some fighting robots. So my understanding of this game is that you control both yourself and the robot that is like chained to you, right?
Yes, and it's a lot easier to control than you would think.
I hope so, because it gives me a headache just thinking about it.
Yeah, it's one of those games where you're like watching, like, I don't know if I can do that, but the robot, as long as you get him in the right area, he kind of just does things on his own. I mean, you can direct him to do certain things, but he'll attack and stuff on his own.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it looks pretty. How weeby is it? Like, is this like super anime? Like if you don't like anime, are you gonna be like, dude?
I mean, I do not watch anime. My wife watches a lot. I do not, but I really enjoyed it. If you like Japanese culture of any kind, it's very Japanese.
Sure.
For example, as I said, you collect cats. There's one cat hidden in every level, and then you find it and adopt it.
Okay, sure.
And then there's, I believe, I haven't gone back to it, but I think there's a place in the first stage where all your cats end up.
Okay, so there's just like a pile of cats somewhere.
Also, in the police office, another side quest is if you go into the bathroom, which is fun because if you play the guy character, they won't let you into the girl's bathroom. If you play the girl character, they don't let you into the guy's bathroom.
Sure. Okay.
But in the bathroom, you go to the last stall and you hit like you're trying to open the door and you end up talking to someone and you find out there's a toilet fairy.
There's a toilet fairy. This sounds pretty Japanese to me.
Yeah, there's a toilet fairy, and the toilet fairy, each level has a type of toilet paper for you to find. There's a hidden porta potty or toilet in each level that you have to get a piece of toilet paper from.
This gets better and better every
And
time you play it. What's this rated? Is it rated T?
it's rated T. And I mean, it's not just like, so they introduce it to you by you. She asks you to get you some toilet paper. So you just go to the stall next to her, grab a piece of, it says you got the toilet paper, and you hand it to her. Well, I found a toilet in the next level, and it was a Sears, like their version of the Sears catalog. So I tore a page from that to bring to her. The next level I found one in, it had sandpaper, so I brought that to her.
Oh, that's just rough.
Yeah. So the humor, I mean, for such a serious game towards the end, the humor is there. There's a character that plays the chief, the police mascot named Lappy. It's a giant dog.
Okay.
At one point in time, you have to put on the dog costume because she hurt herself somehow, and you have to go cheer everyone up in the office.
Okay. Sure. Why not? I mean, okay, so this sounds way better than I thought. No one told me that there was a toilet fairy. No one told me that, like, none of this was told when they were doing reviews and stuff. So I think I'm gonna have to make this happen. I think I'm gonna, as I said in the chat, I think this game is just gonna have to be a thing. So those are just some of our suggestions. We're, as I said before, we are we're not in them yet, but we are going to be in discussions with the rest of the staff, thinking about our games and how we are going to kind of announce our games of the year. I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts. So this is called Astral Chain, Kate.
Astral Chain, yep.
It's by Platinum Games. It came out summer, right? After E3? Like, was it August or was it before E3? I can't remember.
It was the end of August.
Okay.
Like August 30th, I want to say.
Yeah, end of August. Mm-hmm. It's cool, Kate. It just looks kind of neat. And now that I know there's a toilet fairy and you can collect cats and toilet paper, 100% in.
You can also choose different colors for your robots to be.
Ooh, so you beat people up with pink robots?
Yeah, like I made sure to make them each a different color, so I felt like I had my own set of Power Rangers Zords.
Sure. That sounds good to me. Oh, so you made it like blue, black, yellow, red, green?
Well, no, they weren't those colors, because you have to unlock color schemes.
Oh, okay.
So every time I would get a new color, I just made sure they were different colors.
Sure. I'm down. So that's it, guys. Jeff, we did it. We made it. We talked about our games of the year. We talked about the news, and we had an EFG show. So Kate and everybody else who took the time to watch today, I appreciate you guys coming to give us a watch. This show is scheduled for Thursdays. However, from a programming note, next week I will be live tweeting from the Game Awards. I won't be at the actual show. I will be at the Buckland Hills Mall in Connecticut. So if you're in that area and you want to go, look it up, because the movie theater there, the Cinemark Theater, is going to be showing the Game Awards, followed immediately afterwards by the new Jumanji movie. And I will be there with Tila, who is from our E3 coverage, and the two of us are going to be live tweeting the Game Awards, talking about the new announcements. Apparently there's going to be 10 new games, of which I am sure one of them will be family appropriate, I think, mathematically speaking. Just one of them has to be.
Nintendo should have at least one,
yeah, exactly. Somebody will be there. Nintendo's going to show us the last Smash character is what they're going to do. So we'll do all that. And then so maybe the Thursday after that, we'll do a show. We're going to keep everybody notified. Obviously, after that, EFG actually shuts down for a couple of weeks so that we can all enjoy the holidays with our kids and then recharge to come back in the new year, at which point Jeff and I will be there for just about every Thursday that we possibly can, because that's how we do. So until next time, everybody, have a great week. We will talk to you soon, and until next time, don't forget to get your family game on.
Game on.
We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.